Good evening. Leading the Nightline tonight, SUZHOU Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Dr. Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah has acknowledged public criticism over social media on Air Borneo's ticket prices, which some consider too high. He stressed that airfares cannot be viewed in isolation, noting that multiple factors in the aviation sector must be carefully weighed before any price adjustments are made.
We have to balance it up with also our rakan-rakan pesawat yang lain. Kalau kita turunkan bawah, sehingga yang pesawat-pesawat lain lari tidak mau datang ke Sarawak lagi oleh kerana rugi, kerana everybody want to use BORNEO. Then the one who will suffer will be us also. To others might not be okay. It's very difficult to satisfy everybody. Sebab itu saya katakan bila part rendah ke tak rendah tu is very, very subjective.
On another development, the Sarawak government is reviewing the TANJUNG EMBANG Industrial Park plan, taking inspiration from the success of the SUZHOU Industrial Park in China. Sarawak Premier Dato' Peri Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng says his official visit to SUZHOU gave plentiful insights that are more suitable for Sarawak's future economic direction compared to the original plan, revealing that the new strategy will be discussed in a special meeting soon.
I have an idea what to do with our proposed park. Not the one that I initially have in mind. But after this visit, it will be something different, and that will align with not only our PCDS, but rather align with the new economy and new, they call it the future industry.
At the same time, he drew comparisons with Suzhou's development, which began when China had a population of 800 million and has since grown to 1.4 billion. Hence, the development of Tanjung EMBANG, Abang Johari says, must align with the needs of the new economy that is more sustainable, innovative and competitive.
In other words, we can see the future within ASEAN and beyond. That's why I think we have to strategize again after seeing this. Because our objective or our ambition is we become, as I said, the star of ASEAN. Because of now we are connecting with ASEAN member countries. The only thing is we diversify the economic activities, using clean energy, renewable energy as a source, and producing modern products out of that.
At least 13 people have died in Gaza as Storm Byron lashes the region, further worsening conditions for roughly 795,000 Palestinians living in displacement camps. Among the casualties, 2 children succumbed to freezing temperatures on Friday, highlighting the severe vulnerability of families already facing dire circumstances.
Infant Taim Al-Kawaja froze to death while sheltering with her family in the ruins of their homes in Al-Shati refugee camp. 9-year-old Hadil Hamdan also died, unable to withstand the severe cold when sheltering in a school for displaced families.
أخينا زي ما أنت شايف تفضل شوف كيف الأولاد مش قادرين من جوا حتى الأولاد كلهم غرقانين الحريم غرقانين إجراء أكلنا شربنا خيامنا يعني خيام مش خيام حتى الخيام هذه مش خيام.
Medical facilities treating the injured and sick have also been affected, with at least 4 clinics reported flooded, damaging critical equipment and leaving patients at greater risk.
وشربنا اللي احنا بيستغيثونا فيه ما ضلش لا اكل كمان ولا شرب لا اكل ولا شرب. صور الكراتين تبعات الاكل والشرب عشان نشوفها كلها هي واقعه على الطحين واقع كل شيء واقع.
Storm Byron, a severe weather system that triggered flooding in Greece and Cyprus earlier this week, has now made landfall in Gaza, bringing heavy rainfall that has already flooded multiple displacement sites. Rainfall is expected to continue, further straining families living in unsafe shelters and worsening an already catastrophic humanitarian situation. Amid Storm Byron, Gaza's health ministry reported on Tuesday that 70,366 Palestinians have been killed and 171,064 injured since the start of Israel's military offensive in October 2023, even with the so-called ceasefire in effect.
Meanwhile, Palestinian head of the War and Colonization Resistance Commission, Mr. Muayya Shaban, says that the approval by the so-called Israeli Occupation Cabinet to legalize and establish 19 new colonies across the occupied West Bank marks yet another step in the race to erase Palestinian geography in favor of the colonial settlement project. Shaban considers the decision as a dangerous escalation that exposes the true intentions of the occupation government to entrench a system of annexation, apartheid, and the complete Judaiization of Palestine. According to reports by Palestine News and Info, this quote-unquote mission comes within the systematic policy led by the colonist government, headed by Benjamin Netanyahu and Bezalel Smotrich, aimed at legalizing colonial outposts and transforming them into official colonies, thereby entrenching permanent Israeli control over Palestinian land. Shaban slams the decision as a blatant challenge to international law and United Nations UN Security Council resolutions, particularly Resolution 2334. He warns that it raises serious alarm over the future of West Bank, which he says is facing a systematic colonization process aimed at uprooting the Palestinian presence and turning cities and villages into isolated, besieged enclaves. He affirms that the Commission, in cooperation with all official and popular bodies, will continue legal, diplomatic and field efforts to expose Israeli colonial crimes before the international community, calling for urgent action by the UN and the high contracting parties to the Geneva Conventions to halt this dangerous expansion. Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has dissolved Parliament just 3 months into his tenure, according to a royal decree published Friday, clearing the way for a national election. The move comes earlier than expected as deadly clashes along the country's border with Cambodia have killed at least 20 people and displaced nearly 600,000 residents.
Anutin assures the people of Thailand that he is returning to power to their citizens. Hours later, King Maha Vajiralongkorn endorsed the Prime Minister's recommendation to dissolve the 500-member House of Representatives, a formality under the Thai constitution.
ท่านให้ผมมาเป็นนายกแล้วท่านบอกท่านไม่สนับสนุนผมแล้วท่านขอให้ผมยุบสภาผมก็ทำตามท่านก็มันเตรียมการไว้ล่วงหน้าหมายว่าไอ้ร่างพรกยุบสภาผมเตรียมไว้ตั้งแต่วันแรกที่ผมเข้ามารับตำแหน่งอยู่แล้วก็เปลี่ยนเดือนมาแค่2 เดือนเท่านั้นเอง
Separately, Anutin confirmed he is scheduled to speak with U.S. President Donald Trump as border clashes with Cambodia continue. 3:20 ที่เขาว่านะเวลาไทยใช่ไหมคะเวลาไทย Previously, Trump pledged on Wednesday to contact the leaders of both countries, saying he believes he can get them to stop fighting, citing his previous experience in brokering peace agreements and ceasefire in the region.
Scientists warned on Friday that last month's deadly floods in Indonesia have dealt an extinction-level blow to one of the world's rarest great apes, the Tapanuli orangutan. Only recognized as a distinct species in 2017, Tapanuli orangutan's population of fewer than 800 in the wild, confined to a small mountainous region in Sumatra. Conservationists say one suspected Tapanuli has already been found dead following the disaster.
Scientists focus on the so-called West Block, the most densely populated of the 3 known Tapanuli habitats and home to an estimated 581 Tapanulis before the disaster. It is estimated that over 9% of the West Block habitat may have been destroyed, leaving surviving Tapanulis even more vulnerable without adequate food or shelter.
Saya meyakini banjir dan juga bencana ekologis yang baru terjadi di Batang Toru ini berdampak kepada orangutan, terutama beberapa wilayah terjadi longsor yang mengakibatkan penambahan wilayah areal habitat yang terfragmentasi.
Environmentalists agree that deforestation and climate change contributed to the flood severity. They are now pushing for expanded protected areas, restoration of lowland forests, and an urgent survey of the Tapanulis remaining range.
Kalau nggak ada upayanya pemerintah ini, kemungkinan orangutan akan punah di sini. Apalagi terjadinya dengan penebangan liar kayak gini. Mungkin kalau untuk beberapa tahun ini mungkin masih tetap namanya orangutan ini ada. Tapi kalau untuk kedepannya, untuk anak cucu kami nanti kami nggak tahu lagi. Mungkin tinggal nama aja untuk anak cucu kami nanti dengan posisinya hutan kayak gini.
Meanwhile, the latest update on Thursday revealed that Indonesia's flood in northwestern Sumatra have killed 990 people, with over 220 people still missing, leaving hundreds of thousands facing shortages.
And now on to national news. Anyone submitting proposals or demands that are sensitive in nature, especially those concerning religion, race and ethnicity, must consider the position of the national language as outlined in the federal constitution. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim says the principles enshrined in the constitution regarding the status of Bahasa Melayu should continue to be upheld and supported.
Upholding Bahasa Melayu must be elevated in line with its constitutional position, and the mastery of the language must be strengthened among Malaysians. Anwar adds that only after these principles and matters are addressed, proposals to enhance the mastery of other languages, including the recognition of Unified Examination Certificate UEC, can be considered. Any proposals focus solely on a single language or a single community, while ignoring discussions on the country's main language, could lead to problems.
Saya ingin mengingatkan mana-mana kaum, parti mau kemukakan, dia tidak ada masalah. Tapi mesti ingat, sebagai rakyat yang mematuhi prinsip perlembagaan, faham harus mula dengan menegaskan keutamaan penguasaan bahasa Melayu. Kemudian saya setuju untuk angkat kedudukan penguasaan bahasa-bahasa lain. Bukan saja Inggeris, Cina, Arab, Tamil, tapi mana-mana bahasa lain. Tetapi saya nak kerangka besar itu jelas.
Anwar also reminded all parties submitting proposals related to language to follow constitutional principles, with the priority being the mastery of the Bahasa Melayu language. Previously, the AP Deputy Chairman Nga Koroming was reported as saying that the party would meet the Prime Minister regarding the recognition of the UEC.
And don't forget to witness all the action and greatness of the 33rd SEA Games in Thailand from December 9 to December 20, live exclusively on TVS 122, TVS Inspire and our TVS SEA Games YouTube channel. World's on your screen anytime. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Shulshmato. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend.